We are, and we're about to look at the draft right now, actually.
Excited. What have we been seeing a lot of, though, here, Hallie? Because I think that's a big question. Have there any been favorite champions in meta? Because I obviously know the meta quite well, but what have we seen?
I would like to ask your opinion, Pike, on the champion of Mel. What are you thinking about Mel currently?
Okay, I have two thoughts on Mel.
Please hit me.
The first thought, my wife plays Mel. She plays a lot of Mel, so by default, I have to like the champion. But let's say hypothetically, I'm not married. That champion sucks. Get it out of my game. It's my second ban every game. I can't stand it. It is nonsense. It's way too overpowered for its kit. No, just no. But love the champion.
Of course. Very, very well PR trained. But that is the champion we have been seeing, and it has been dominating. We are talking double-digit kills every game, a complete and utter 1v9 performance in almost all the games that it's picked. It has not faltered, and even against the counter, it's been getting countered by the Azir. Doesn't matter. It still performs. It still does amazing, and I'm wondering if we're going to see any bans, any Mel bans, or if it's just going to be picked away immediately.
If it's one of these high priority picks, and both these teams are saying what's sort of the priority, where are we looking? Because you can already see that's two jungle bans for final gen. They're obviously looking at Porin and saying, we want you out of this game. But at the same time, next gen's saying the exact same thing. So like you said at the start, this jungle duo that's going to be fighting each other in these jungles is very much the place to be looking in this game. Again, like you said though, Mel, this really sought after champion. You got to think about the combos. A lot of these teams have a lot of practice playing together. You got to think about like the J4 with like the Galio ults. You got to think about Rumble being in the meta too. Like these are all high impact champions that can be seen throughout the game. But now we're starting to see some difference. We got the Ambassador, we got the Tristana. I don't mind these. Tristana is probably like the most AD carry champion in the game. So I really like this ban. But now it comes down to what you're going to pick. What's your priority? It looks like Mel's probably going to be first pick. It's Pantheon.
It's a Pantheon. I love a Panth pick. I'm a Panth player myself, so this could go anywhere. Now, I do know Porin's been performing very well on a Panth jungle, but what I love about the Panth pick is that could be a Panth top, it could even be a Panth support at this point. Kembo has been putting a lot of hours into different support picks, and there's a high chance that, honestly, it could be flexed into the support role. I like seeing, on the other team, we've got a Varus lock-in. Are you thinking lethality, or are you thinking on hit?
Okay, so my personal preference, I think lethality's stupid. I can see why they play it though. Mathematically, it makes sense. The stats on the items, they're cheaper, gets you to some item spikes faster. Cool beans. I don't think it's going to be useful, especially with a Pantheon that's going to be sitting on top of you. You want to go that sort of that on hit. You want to be blasting, be sitting back, just poke, get your stacks up, and then hit them with everything. So, but with an Orianna, that tells me there's got to be some high engage, high impact jungler coming in, because Orianna with like Nocturne's already banned, J4 still rings pretty true, could look pretty good. But we got the Sivir, we got the Akali, they're locked in. So Stellar on Akali, that's interesting.
I love this aggressive comp from Next Gen 2026 here. The Akali is a difficult pick to pilot in such a coordinated lobby. You know, everyone's communication is on point. And so Stella's really going to have to perform here to get that working, as we get a Wukong lock-in, probably on the jungle on the other side here.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the staple picks, right? Like Wukong is such a high impact, highly aggressive jungler early game too. Loves getting to those objectives and loves being in a team fight, which is where you're going to see that shockwave with the Wukong Cyclone really come into effect. So if this Akali, if this Sivir don't use spell shields or use flashes at the right time, I'm sorry, you're gone. Get out of here. Gray screen for 25 seconds early on in the game. We're seeing bans coming in. My new main, Zed taken off the board. I'm a little salty about that.
Damn, we're not going to be seeing any sick shadow combos. As on the other side, the banner wave of Lulu. Don't want to be giving Aqua that extra help from the Lulu, from the wild growth there. A smart ban indeed.
I wouldn't be surprised if they decided to go for something a little bit more meaty on the side of Final Gen. Like if I'm looking at a support, Braum actually speaks pretty highly here too. If you can get those stacks up. If you're going for an attack speed Varus, that could be really good. But you could look at the pretty stock standard. You got a Nautilus still open who wants to go in. Leona's pretty strong. Depends if you want to go tank or enchanter, but it feels like Next Gen's really focusing these enchanters because they're so strong in the meta at the moment.
Take a look at this. They've banned out Xin Zhao there. Final Gen has banned out Xin Zhao there, which means they think the Pantheon certainly is a flex pick, but not in the jungle. If they're thinking the jungle pick hasn't been picked yet, so that certainly could be a Pantheon support or a Pantheon top, which leaves the jungle pick still open. I'm wondering what we're going to see Porin pick out, if that is the case, or if Final Gen is a little bit off base here.
I think with Final Gen locking in that Alistar, that tells me that Pantheon support's going to be off the tables, because if Pantheon goes into this Alistar, you're sort of trolling a little bit. But there's the Mundo being locked in. That could be Mundo jungle as well.
It could be. There's so many flexible picks here. What are we looking at? It's hard to witness yet. It could be a Mundo top. It could be a Mundo jungle. Either one, Mundo is performing very well and has an incredibly large win rate. As it turns out, it must be Mundo jungle. No, it could be Pantheon jungle still. Mundo top with the Nautilus support finalizing the comp for next gen 2026.
I wouldn't actually be too mad if it was a Mundo jungle with a Pantheon top, because I feel like getting those good rotations from the top, you're going to get it from your ultimate anyway. Your Skyfall's going to work. So having a Mundo who's just going to get those stacks, get that gold online, be aggressive, but a Yorick being locked in.
I love a Yorick pick.
Oh, it's a bit nasty.
Word. Yorick into Pantheon, that is such a hard matchup. It's Toppy's Yorick as well. Now, Pantheon has a very small bit of time where he can bully the Yorick a little bit, but the moment that a Yorick hits 6, it's over for the Pantheon in terms of 1v1 lanes.
Yeah.
So they're going to have to look for team fights. They're going to have to look for extended other side of the map plays away from this top lane.
And I love the synergy that we're starting to see here, right? You see on Final Gen, they've got the Wukong Orion. I've talked about that, how that sort of combo works and getting that shockwave off. But you've now got an Alistar who wants to make the exact same play too. So you've got a meaty frontline with a Yorick who's going to happily sit in the side lane for the rest of the game. Like, does not want a team fight at all. I think that's a really smart call, because you've already got such a strong combo in the 4v5. But in saying that, Halo, you got the Nautilus as well, who's a disruptor. You got Mundo. That's a meaty shield for Avaris to get through. There's a lot going on, but we might have to wait till we're in game to find out more.
Yeah, well, let's get into game right now as we take it into effect. Starting off with a look at this. They're off to the races, certainly.
Porin, very, very chill sort of start. I love that he's gone the corporate Mundo, lost his car already. That's sadly taxes for you. But now start as well on the Moo Cow, Dream Skin. I just want to see cowbells.
Yeah, I'm interested on how both team fights play out. In terms of this Mundo passive, it's gonna be slightly difficult to break. They only really have access to the Wukong Cyclone Spin, to the Orianna R, and to the Chains of Corruption, but it's gonna cost them an ultimate as a flash already goes out.
That is rough at the start of the game, especially into an Akali. This is one of those matchups you need to have your flash, especially once Akali gets level 3. If Orianna is not spacing correctly, she's going to get jumped on and half health instantly. So, Moo Cow, hit that cowbell, baby.
The pink cow. Ooh, it's gonna be, yeah, without the summoner spells needed, as actually I'm taking a look at summoner spells, we've gotten a bit of an aggressive bot lane here with the Flash Ignite on the Nautilus compared to the Alistar's more safe playing heal flash. Do you think we'll get some early little tussles in this bot lane, as both teams can play very safe if they choose to?
It's like, it's a catch-22. If Kenvo decides to land a hook, right, you still are probably going to hook an Alistar, and you don't want a cow sitting on you. That's not fun for anyone.
Certainly not.
They're pretty heavy. So I feel like Kenvo's just going to be playing that, hey, let's just be really pressure. Let's put pressure on. Let's be up in this lane, be up in their face, put anything onto them and just cancel out CS, because you want to start putting Aqua behind. If he gets behind, it's going to be so much easier for Javer to be a little bit more present in the game, because Sivir just wants to scale to the late game.
Yeah, and we'll see. Oh, as a hook does land on that cow, just like you said. Nothing can be got from it. In terms of who are the linchpins of the team here? Who needs to get ahead on either team for the comp to work, for the team fights to work in the way and in the favor of these teams? Because I think the Akali needs to exist, or if the Akali gets behind, it's going to be really rough. And they're so lucky that flash is already down, as now the Akali does have access to some really crazy plays and aggressive plays if need be.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think if Akali can get ahead, she can 1v9 a game. That is what the champion was built for. Riot have said this, and thank you, Riot. We appreciate that. Potentially not. But at the same time, I've talked about this combo a lot. It is this Orianna Wukong. If they are playing around this mid-jungle duo, they can run this game into the ground. And Next Gen might not have an answer for it, because they can get penetration that's going to get through all these shields. You just have to be strategic with using it. In saying that, there's a clock on the game. That clock is Sivir.
Certainly.
If the Sivir gets too strong, too quickly, she can run a game down too, because using the hunt, she can just start absolutely charging at people. And they're already invading the jungle because why not? They've forced this monkey out of the jungle. And you know what? Monkeys that have no trees to climb, they just can't get it done.
They really can't. And it's going to be crazy that we're getting such aggressive early games. And as you mentioned, this team, Next Gen 2026, is just looking to scale. They have that Mundo frontline eventuality. Eventually, once he hits 16, they are going to have real troubles getting through him. And with the Severe as well. So the fact that they're allowed, they're sort of given the pass to invade early and to take from this sort of on-the-clock team, it creates some messy situations that Final Gen is going to be looking to stop from happening, certainly.
But the nice thing there is you can already see nice little, just a bit of pressure going in, but still, what I was going to say is we've got the lethal tempo Varus, which is Aqua. That is an on-hit, classic Oceanic pause. It gets us every time.
That's Ose, baby.
Production, I'm a fan of it. Oh, we can just take a breath now, Hello. Let's just take in the moment.
Isn't that it's such? It seems to be the aim of the game. I wanna talk about the Alistar here and the Alistar pick here. What do you actually think about that pick? What is its main role in doing? Is it just peeling the Varus? Does it have any chance to engage at all? Because you've already got the Orianna Wukong.
Yeah. Well, like the Alistar acts almost like a secondary sort of version of what the Orianna is going to give to the Wukong. So Wukong's obviously your main follow, like main engage, right? You want to jump in, you want to get your Cyclone off, but you can now do that also with Alistar. Now imagine a big meaty cow, but with a shield as well, that is going to be able to jump onto you because you do have a Nautilus. If a Nautilus buggers up a hook, they're right next to you. Cool, easy engage. It's the same with everyone else on that team. Pantheon, he wants to get on top of you. All the champions they've drafted need to sit on top of you to do damage. They don't actually have that much range. So Alice is like, cool, I'll soak everything, instantly ulti, knock them all up, boom. It's done. Like, that's the gameplay that they've got in mind. So the Alistar is a very strong pick.
Yeah, no, you know what? I'm really seeing it now. Let's talk, though, something I'm a bit confused because they do have this very heavy team fight comp. You know, they've got Wukong, Orianna, Nautilus, and the thing that confuses me, though, is the Yorick pick. Do you think that the Yorick is looking to team fight or mainly just stay side lane and draw that Pantheon away? Because there are so many different ways to play Yorick, and how he can build and how he can go and sort of diversify his build in a game really depends on how the team wants to play. And what do you think personally this Yorick is looking to do, Toppy is looking to do?
I said it in the draft, right, is I expect this Yorick to be a very heavy split pusher. That's not to say they won't join a team fight. I think that's a different conception of what we could talk about in this game. I think Yorick's going to join the fight when they're good and ready, when they've pushed out these towers, when they've got like all 3 tier 2 towers and there's an objective up, they're going to join that fight. But until then, good hook comes in, but that's styled with a nice little lockdown, just trying to keep them back. Half health the cow. See, these are the combos we were talking about.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
They can stop these. But now, the river fight going down in the
no mana on Saw.
Stella. Yeah, Saw's got to be very careful. Standing in a shroud is risky business.
We can already see that Yorick, a Pantheon matchup, making it a little bit messy. It's gonna be hard, at least, as that Yorick is about to hit 6. Although he has gone for a more farming style play with the instead of sort of saving up money for that Sheen power spike on the Trinity, he's gone for the Cull actually, aiming for a bit of a long game.
Yeah, I think that's fine. I don't think. Oh, that's okay. Yeah, hold on. Don't take that shuriken. Okay, good.
Stella chose the right choice there.
I had to message them telepathically to say that, because if they took it, I'll be like, oh. But no, I think you're right. I think going Grasp is definitely like the let's play safe and just sort of farm this game out. Again, Yorick with a maiden level 16 is always something to be concerned about. So I'm curious to see, it's more about where are they going to put their eggs in the basket, right? Like there's a couple baskets on the map. I'm looking at these dragons stacking. If Yorick can get a soul, especially something maybe tanky like a mountain, that's a good hook. Oof. Peak range, but styled. Very happy to disengage. If they can stack some really big, like a mountain soul, even like a cloud soul, you're not going to catch this Yorick. And in a side lane, it's going to suck.
Yeah, and especially with the amount of shutdown that they do have, just in terms of CC, it's actually very limited on the side of Next Gen 2026. You've got the Pantheon Shield Bash, and you've got the Nautilus, but other than that, the Mundo holds nothing, the Akali holds nothing, and the Sivir has no actual direct CC. That's going to be really bad for Toppy, losing the Maiden this early.
Oh, I think it's not too bad. I don't think like it's... I missed that cannon though. 0.5%. I call that out every time. Rikoya knows. That's my spectator right there. He knows what I say. bit of an interesting one. Yeah, I think Maiden early in the game doesn't really matter. It's all about keeping tempo. Hello, you would know this. You're a bit higher elo than me. It's all about maintaining tempo. If you can keep tempo in a game, you can get to the power spikes that you need. But that's a nice little fight going over.
True, wow.
It did still get picked up at Erduran?
Take it away. Erduran, I believe it is.
Erduran.
Taken away. And I'll say this, Kenvo is proving his spot as team captain. I believe almost every single one of his hooks has landed so far as we get a little bit of a lane swap here.
You just caster cursed it, mate. You don't cast a curse.
Oh, have I just? Yes, we witnessed that the other day, actually. I didn't realize it was actually such a potent thing. It's like Macbeth.
It's so powerful.
It really is.
You can see as well. Oh, actually, hold on. Toppy landing some nice damage off as they were tanking that tower up. Ignite goes down. Kenvo might have panicked that a little bit.
Yeah, the tower doing a little bit more damage there than Jabo expected, I think. As Toppy certainly did look to gather something there. His flash was up, but playing safe, at least getting that Ignite away from Kenvo is very important.
We got some good pings as well, Hello. Now they're looking at these Void Grubs. So Dragon's not really the highest priority because there's so much priority down in the bot side for the side of Next Gen 2026. So I feel like Final Gen saying, hey, we have a Yorick. They want to split push. We have to get Void Grubs, and he's already there as they spawn. This is what I expect from this team.
Right on cue. I mean, yeah, having a Yorick or any split pusher, a Fiora, or a Trundle in the game, those grubs become just ×2 how much a dragon is worth because you just enhance that split pushing pressure to such a high degree, and looks like the entire team is ready and willing to go around enforcing it.
And like, I understand why they're giving here, and Porine's just like, I'm just going to take drag. It's a bit of a consolation prize. Stacking drags is pretty good, but I still think these grubs are going to be so impactful because think of a Mundo too. Think of a Sitter who can auto-shove lanes. If you're constantly hitting towers with Void Grubs, it's so good for Next Gen. So I feel like there should have been some sort of contest. In saying that, I understand why.
Yeah, I really do. I think in terms of sums, they certainly could have contested. I mean, pretty much all sums are available on the map right now, but at least they will get an extra bit of bot side as maybe just the gold, just the sheer gold, getting the gold on these high hyper carries, hyper scalers is what Next Gen 2026 is prioritizing here. As we've had a pretty you know, quite a not a boring mid lane, so to speak, very peaceful one for the Akali, even though she's landing a lot of these shurikens and could be taking them if she so chose to.
I'm gonna say it now, pussy. No.
Listen,
we take those beautiful chains of corruption going straight back in. Aqua just gets hit with the death charge, but now Kenvo trying to hold on as they're trying to get a little bit more damage off the flash over the walls there. But look at the rest of the team. They're in the jungle. First blood still goes over. They just obliterate the fates of warfare coming in hard. Jaba is now trying to do something in a 1v5 and nothing got done. This monkey is just fooling around.
Wow, and that was a split team fight there. We saw, you know, the bot side of Next Gen 2026 actually get caught out there quite effectively. But above the river, there was that perfect combo. The Wukong engage with the Orianna R, and then on top of that, Toppy had such perfect reactions, coming in, TPing quickly. If anything went bad, he didn't need to. Oh!
Zayla in the back line saying, hey, I can still pick up a consolation prize kill, and now here comes Toppy, but Aduran is now here as well, gets the monkey, gets the drop, gets the smite. Come on, Maiden, not enough damage. They just walk out. That's still 1-4. The return kill there is really nice for the side of Next Gen, but Final Gen are looking strong already. 2k up.
And picking up that feats of warfare as well. These upgraded boots, especially for a team that needs a lot of movement, is going to be so important. Is going to be just crucial.
Well, and, not the boots yet, Hello. Not the boots yet.
No, of course, but just a component of gathering those boots.
Correct.
See,
take that. Yes, you take those. Keep it going.
He listened.
Yeah, it's the delay, guys. It's the delay. We had that pause. They hear me, but they don't.
It really, man, just with a Hextech Alternator and a Fiendish Codex there, taking the Orianna down right to half health. Only one more trade, and that's a full kill. As it does seem to be a little sneaky lane gank here from the Monkey.
Monkey see, monkey do. Monkey needs to do a poo on you. We've seen it before. I've been to that zoo.
It certainly was, but nothing is happening in this zoo tonight, as I think Wukong's just going for a quiet back there.
They're just holding the way. Look, this is actually what I sort of expected, except for that one big fight that started off the game. Soar's being chased down, but does get out of dodge. Besides that one big fight we saw in the river, it's been a slow game. When you get teams of this caliber that are quite skilled at the game and they know tempo, they know the skill expression, there's never actually that many kills. That's why you don't see many kills in like big pro games, because they know when their item spikes are good, and that's when they'll take fights.
Yeah, certainly. The thing is, it's a game of missteps, and both teams have made very few missteps. Besides that one little team fight, honestly, no other missteps have been made, and that's why it has been what seems to be a slow game. As we take a look at the Varus first item, the Guinsoo's first, a little bit unorthodox, as usually we get the Bork instead. I would be interested in knowing the thought process behind that. What do you think?
Speed, attack speed, good.
Certainly.
Most 80 carries would actually say. They go attack speed good. That's usually all you can get out of the 80 carry mains half the time, depending on the 80 carry, of course. Thanks for that rose.
Right for the taking.
Yeah, just looking right there. But now Toppy could be caught out as Zayla is up. Here comes Porin too. The Maiden's going to help a little bit, but Toppy is in a bit of a predicament. About almost half health, but Porin is a tanky boy. That Heartsteel stack is about to start stacking very nicely, and Toppy's holding on as best they can. Level 9, but look at Zayla 2's right there. Endurin is actually going to come back in. Monkey wants to get into this fight. Shield is good. Here comes Soar as well. Can they get the damage off? Soar's able to get. Toppy is still alive in this top side. He's holding on, but he cannot be denied. As now they're looking for a little bit more, as they are still on. A Shockwave is even better. Endurin is now saying, Stella, come here. But no, Stella is running with a shuriken between their legs, and that is very dangerous.
Wow, what a little team fight there. Toppy performing exceptionally well, dodging numerous amounts of those Mundo briefcases. And we can take a look at the replay here. Look at this. If you watch up top, watch how he survived an incredibly large amount of time, not enough to get that last Q rotation off for the healing. But what we did witness there was the power of the Yorick Pantheon matchup, just keeping that Pantheon trapped. And Pantheon is such a, while he does have high base AD, his health limits are not that high, and he went for the Dirk first. And so you saw his health just get shredded there, and he could not ensure the Mundo gank to be perfectly successful, which just bought enough time for Final Gen to collapse.
Akra and Styled could be denied as he stolen the Nautilus. Kenvo, the team captain, said, "You're mine. This is what a Rage Blade first item will do for you." But Jared was not even there. They were starting the drag with zero pressure or zero presence. And now their jungle's just getting decimated. That just feels like a really big miscall from Final Gen.
Yeah, that seems... Ooh, so we might get a little bit of something going on.
No.
A little bit of a miscommunication there. No smite steal from the Nautilus is pretty wildly here as we
let's look at this.
Look here.
Straight on in, and you can see Kenbo's there. 250 HP, and it's actually the Q or the W that does it, which is crazy. Sorry, the E that does it is actually insane. Then Aqua dies for it. Like the CC chain was perfect.
I understand the thought process of trying to push for these dragons, but that is gonna be such a negative. And we also saw as well another invade that allowed for another invade of that bot jungle.
Okay, Chains of Corruption hit, but into the Shroud. Can't get seen. That is rough. Aqua feeling like it was a little bit of a desperate play.
Yeah, you can feel a bit of desperation in all of these plays, honestly.
Yeah, Edoran, Cyclone's good. The rest of the team needs to come in. There's a redemption coming down, but can they hold back on as Red side? Good hooks are there. Zaylin just picks up the monkey. Now Kenbo's in the back line too, just shaking out Aqua. Now they're trying to hold on as there's the actual perfect kills. Jaber picks up Aqua as well, and it looks like Next Gen are just cleaning up this fight. A double kill going over for Jaber. Absolute disaster for the side of Final Gen. A triple kill spells disaster. And an ace is just huge. And there's the pause.
Oh my word. What a team fight there. That was the perfect sort of symphony of events for Team Final Gen as we see it again. And take a look. You have these two tanky front lines just working in harmony as Jaber just gets to sit in the back line, putting out so much damage. And Stella just sort of in the midst at the same time, getting the kill on Aqua, confirming the kill on what's it called, Toppy as well. And then Jaber's damage. That's severe, just putting out so much. It's the perfect lineup as well. There's so much meat for Final Gen to get through with this Nautilus, with this Mundo, with this Pantheon E. And if you saw as well, Zayla used the empowered Pantheon E to get that extra stats as they knew that this was going to be an extended fight, and it worked perfectly. It bought so much time, and another objective and feats of strength going over to next gen 2026.
You can see the gold now as well, which is definitely a big side of this. You can see top side as well. Zayla is just laughing at Toppy right now, saying, Toppy, you need to start stepping up 0-2 right now to 3-1-1. Like, that is not a score you ever want to see on a Pantheon, especially a Pantheon into this Yorick sort of matchup. At the same time, bot is a big difference. Yes, it's only about 400 gold, but 3 kills in the pocket is pretty nuts for this Sivir. The item's going to be looking real good. You can see that Yuntails is already completed. Picked up another BF sword, so I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to start looking at just an IE straight off the bat, but a little bit of attack speed, they could be looking at a couple other options.
Yeah, and I'm still a bit stuck on this Guinsoo's first. We did actually see Aqua put out a lot of autos on both the Pantheon and the Mundo, and unfortunately, the Mundo's still, even just with the Heartsteel and that Spectral Cowl, he's still too tanky, and the Guinsoo's, without that % health damage, you don't have the correct materials needed to take out these team fights just yet. So with these bounties coming up, though, if Final Gen can capitalize and potentially take a couple of them out on their key players, it certainly is still a very close game.
No, absolutely. And I think you're right. It all comes down to how willing are these teams to go. Like you said, this is the matchup of the night. These are the two teams that have shown grit, they've shown determination in this tournament to really prove that they are the powerhouses. We're starting to see the life of that and how they're actually utilizing their skills in these games. Because Akali, not the biggest champion we've seen in pro play, unless it's like Faker who's like to go for it. But now we're looking at 4 members going bot. The rest of the team's trying to show their worth, and they do disengage afterwards. Nice pick up there and good response from Final Gen.
Yeah, it was a good Canna collapse, and the thing is with Porin here, he has the Herald and can afford to use it whenever. In fact, with the sheer amount of time left in this game, he could just save it for the next dragon, which I think might be his strategy here. We do get this top lane matchup as expected, though. There is nothing that this Pantheon can do when this Yorick has these stacked waves. But with no sort of objectives up, with no vision to be controlled right now, it's just going to be a trading back and forth of waves.
We should get a candy cane Yorick, and they should be little Oompa Loompas.
Little elves. Little elves. I love elves. And
awesome.
I think, Yorick with a couple elves, you could have him looking like Santa Claus and stuff like that. I would love
the maiden
that for
could be, I
Christmas.
was going to say Mrs. Claus.
That would work
If
perfectly.
Yorick's Santa
That would
Claus,
work
Mrs. Claus is the
absolutely
maiden.
perfectly.
Got little minions of elves running around. The shield,
And
the shield barrier is like
the
an
back could
icy
be a little
parent
workshop.
thing. Yep, we've done it.
Thanks,
Thanks, Riot.
elves behind the workshop. That would go
You're welcome.
great as we get 2 items complete on most champions now. The Wukong picking up the Sundered Sky.
I like it. It's going to be a little bit more healing in these team fights. It's pretty important, especially when these team fights are so drawn out. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw maybe a Black Cleaver along the lines too. I think Yorick really is looking towards that too. But third Dragon online, this will spell Soul Point for the side of Next Gen 2026. So if there's no real response, I think they're just looking to give and say, we'll take the next drag, guys.
Yeah, and that's going to be a Hextech Soul, which for the side with the severe poke, and honestly, even just a long-range spear throw from the Pantheon, the slows and the damage is actually going to stack up very quickly.
Zayla's here. Depth Charge has been used. They're underneath this tower. They're already taken the tier 2. Cyclone's good, but it doesn't really get much done. But here comes the Moo Cow. Beautiful shutdown. Kenpo has to flash out. Gets caught in the cage. That is not a present anyone was hoping to have today. Toppy picking up their first kill of the day. Rift Herald now charging down bot side. Let's see if there's any sort of response, but that response is, cool, you take tier 1, we're taking tier 3.
Yeah, we're back and Yorick is doing what he does best. He's going to be taking tier 3, and honestly, it's a very smart decision not to go for the inhib here, but a trade will occur with this Atakan, and we know how strong this Atakan is, but also how much of a bait objective it is.
It really
no
is.
vision on it though.
They have no vision, but they know they're on it. It's a quick look down bot side as they're going for a little bit more engage. He's stolen! No way did Enduro actually pop that off as they cleaned house, and they've already been hit with the debuff too. Stella is now being chunked down, has to perfect execution out, but no, Aqua says, I'll flash for that kill. They pick up another one. Zayla off the board, and Final Gen are well back in this game.
That is absolutely absurd. That is not, by the way, that is the third steal of this tournament. The third steal of the Atacon. That seems to be a very common theme here. People cannot secure this thing as it was a beautiful walk in and take, perfectly leashed by Next Gen 2026.
Let's watch that replay, though, because that was just absolutely phenomenal. They didn't even see it, but you see, Drew came in, can't even see it, boom, just beat the Smite fight. And now they're just so pumped up, and you can see there's Toppy coming in with the TP. Stella's like, we just got a hard commit, guys. I'm the sacrificial Akali, and still cannot survive the Ghost Flash, the beautiful arrows. They're just getting it done, and they pick up 2 kills for their trouble. Oh, hello, this is magical League of Legends, if ever I've seen it.
Isn't it just, I mean, you think it's going one way. We were just talking about how this Next Gen is stacking these dragons, and then Final Gen just comes in and steals this Atacon. It's anyone's game. Look at how the bounties have just swapped over to Final Gen now as the 4K gold lead has come into play. And we can take a look at these golds. That Yorick up 2K. That's absurd. Same with the Orianna, also up 2K. And that's not to mention the fact that this Wukong has clawed back so much. Up a K now. That's pretty crazy, all things considered, as this Dragon Soul coming up is going to be very important. It is going to be the team fight to watch for.
I'm going to have to bring my A game for this one because they are going to full send it. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Yorick maybe with the Black Cleaver or the Hull Breaker here. No, they've got a Shojin with an Executioner's.
Toppy is a man after my own heart. I think there also might have been a slight misclick from Toppy there, as the Maiden was released in the mid lane.
Porin as well has to run away. Kenvo is just blasted. There is no shield that can save you from a whole team on top of you. And it's a nice early pick before no objective, so it feels like they're just going to put in that pressure. I'm not really sure how I'm seeing this because they're looking for those 1-4 gameplay, right? Which is what I talked about. You want to see Toppy in this side lane, just hard pushing, taking objective towers. But now, look at Saw here, who's getting chased down. You should not be running that way. You need to clear that way. Quick, smart.
Correct.
Nice work. The tower's still so healthy.
Dive is so available for them, though.
Is it, though? Here comes the cow as Saw is now trying to run away. Porin is charging them down, but might not have the damages. There's Redemption. Skullfire is good. They're going just straight back onto it. Shockwave is even better. They're underneath the tower. Saw, do not go back in. You are not allowed to stay there. You sent them in. Wow. Oh my God. Saw survives the game and actually gets out with all their limbs.
It was beautiful for him. In fact, Toppy at the same time was trading for the bot tier 2. So it's not completely lost, but still nonetheless. And look at that little Kench. I never knew there was a Kench there, a little snowy Kench. A very nice counter dive with that like follow-up from Styled and turning it into a kill on Xaylia there is really effective and very efficient for Team Final Gen.
And that just felt like, again, another slight desperation player where Porin was like, we need to make something work here, guys. We need to take this tier 1 top side. It's a bit of a struggle. We're heading so close to the Baron. It is 24 minutes in this game. That is the next objective on the mark. It could be the case that they're going to look to flip a Baron for a Dragon. That's what this sort of tells me. This priority in the top side, they're looking at that.
And they can afford to. At this point, with these 3 dragons under their belt, they can afford to. But something that you mentioned, and something I'm only really noticing now, is the tier 1 top is up, and so is the tier 1 mid. They have such a, in terms of a tower lead, Final Gen has a 6-tower lead over Next Gen 2026. So there is so much time in this game. And while that dragon was traded, it wasn't really traded for much besides the top side there of Erdogan.
It was traded for nothing. It was traded for a scuttle. They lost a dragon for a scuttle.
Was there no camps up?
No.
Ooh,
it was already gone.
Oh my dear, Porin feeling the pressure, certainly. Not a lot of gold in his pocket from that
A lot
trade.
of items, though. That's the problem. Finishing up their 3rd item, they just picked up the Thorn Mail. So, but at the same time, we see on the other side of that too, you got Edgerin very comfortable. Black Cleaver locked in. So Thorn Mail versus Black Cleaver. Look, I've seen Mundos do some pretty crazy things. We'll have to see how this is going to play out in a team fight, but I don't know. It still feels very much in control of Final Gen. They have the Goldie, they have the towers, they have Toppy, who's got these tunnels to get back to lane. very quickly. So I'm very concerned with what Next Gen is going to be able to do in this next team fight. Yes, our spectator knows it's all on this Sivir to sit back and just absolutely blast them. They've got the IE, they've got an Executioner's calling now too. So there's not much healing going on, but there's a whole lot of burst.
And the thing is with Team Next Gen 2026 is they've already seen how much this Yorick can take. So they are acutely aware of just how much pressure is on these side lanes. And this Pantheon who's wanting to get into the backline, get on Aqua, get on Soar, they're going to have to juggle this split push pressure so perfectly for the team fights to work in their favor.
And when you have a champion that can ultimate across the map and have a global, plus a teleport, plus another teleport with Stella, when you have a split pushing... Oh, did that cannon get taken? I think it did. Sorry, I get distracted by cannons. I've got a weird fixation on it. It's a good fixation to have when you're playing League of Legends. But
it's good to know that even the top players of the region still sometimes make the same mistakes as us lower level players, us noobs.
No, I'm saying they're noobs. You don't miss cannons, man. That's the one thing in League of Legends you should not miss. You flash for a cannon if you need to.
The Baron has just started, but on no vision.
It's okay because Porin is probably aware that they're on it, but it's already gone. It's at 2k health. It's just been blasted so quickly, and now they can turn this fight. Toppy is walking at them. They take the blast cone. They have to get out of dodge nice and quick, but Baron's gone. 5 members strong. It's the steal of the century.
That was just incredibly like one of those paper shredding machines. I saw the Baron's health for a second. It disappeared the next second. That Varus putting in so much damage and just absolutely rinsing it off the map. That gold lead, even more oppressive now.
And that's the crazy part, right? Is we saw the great triple kill that came over for Jaber before in that initial team fight we saw. It really has amounted to nothing. The pressure's just gone. Like the Civ is still struggling to find any way into this game, but you've got a Terminus now picked up on this Varus. Aqua is feeling themselves. They are feeling so good in this game right now. The Ginsu's first item doesn't matter. That's irrelevant now. You're a 3-item Varus and you're going to be doing some damage. So it doesn't even matter what itemization picks you go for. You can get it done.
And with the tankiness of that Terminus, and also if you look at the Orianna with the shattered with the arm guard, the Seeker's arm guard there, the backline is already shored up. It's going to be very, very hard for this Akali. We haven't been paying much attention to the Akali here, as her job has just gotten so much more difficult. So much more difficult as this assassin.
Look, and then that's the struggle thing, right? It's a feast or famine champion. If you can get ahead on Akali, awesome. You're going to have a great game. You're going to have a lot of fun. But now they're looking at Toppy. So they're sending it full whack. Skyfall, but straight over the wall. Bloody flashed into the Akali. But they do have that Shadow Flame. They can do a lot of damage. They're still able to dodge it out a little bit more. Redemption is nice. But can Toppy do it? It's not enough. And they still get flashes upon flashes. But now Kenvo trying to hold on as Aqua has been rooted. Holding on. Jaber is here now too. But look at that damage. It's beautiful. The healing is so good. One good arrow might slice through the team. Zayla's going to be sacrificed as well. And it is Sword who picks it up. And now they're looking to walk down mid. And it's just a bit of a rough turn of events for Next Gen.
It was so perfect for Jaber there as Kenvo catches out Aqua. Everything goes perfectly. The Ignite goes through the dredge line, but that Terminus just making him so tanky he cannot be touched.
Oh, Porin as well saying we're going to try and deny these backs styled. Just sort of trying to walk away, but Durin is here trying to... Oh, he went through to take the hook. He might still die for his trouble as Stella picks up the return kill. Does use the monkey dash, gets the blast code out of dodge, take the tunnel. It gets cancelled. He's trying to heal it up, but he gives it over to the Akali we talked about, feast or famine, and she is having a roast beef.
It certainly is a way they have clawed back at least somewhat of this
Dragons
gold lead,
up.
although it still remains at 7k. And we've got to take everything we can get.
Well, there's Soul now. There's no
might be
jungler.
Soul.
There's no jungler to deny them. Like, this is an easy pickup. They can just go and take it. No contestation.
The classic downfall of Os, the greed of the Wukong in the jungle there does lead to the Hextech Soul being picked up, which is going to apply a lot of pressure in these team fights.
It's going to alleviate so much as well for this Sivir, right? Like, you get a free static Shiv basically built into kit now. That's basically saying we're in season, next year's season, 2026 season. We can just have another item on our belt with this dragon in tow. And with Boots sitting off to the side, Sivir's going to have a bit more of an easier time. Navori Quick Blades as well finished off. they're definitely getting close. We're 30 minutes into the game, Hallow. It's looking so good, and we just need to hold on a little bit longer for next gen.
Honestly, they've done well in terms of holding on. They have done well, and their prime time, this late game end goal dream that they started from the glimpse of this draft is upon us. Let's just see if they can make it truly work. As we get Yorick putting in that pressure on that side lane, level 18, a 2-level lead over the Pantheon.
Look, and that's so to be expected as well. But now they got the Shredder's Drudge, but now the whole team's here. Zayla gets hit with the Cyclone, but they have to disengage. Maiden is now just sitting there.
Oh no!
Just doing what they do. It's fine, but holding on is what next gen is trying to do, because that Baron already been finished up now. They didn't really get all that much for it. They sort of got into the base a little bit, but they now lost a tier 1 up top side. I feel like they need to really start pushing this tempo a little bit faster. They've got the gold. There's still a solid 7k gold lead up. They need to be pushing a bit harder.
Certainly, yeah, we need to be pressuring as the ticking clock is upon us. We already saw while that Mundo was chasing the Wukong there, that Mundo's very, very tanky. Horan is incredibly tanky, and if he can, pop his R in the midst of about 3 of Final Gen, 3 members nearby, that healing, even with the Executioners, is gonna just overload the health. And so these fights are gonna go back and forth, and it is finally depending on who steps out incorrectly and does Kenvo hit a nasty hook. She might look for.
Oh, beautiful sidesteps, hits them with the Chains of Corruption, and where did they go? Absolutely disgusting as now you can see Skyfall's in the backside. Just gone. Beautiful shutdown going over the Cell, who's doing that perfect execution to the back line. Zayla picks up the monkey too. Shockwave hits a few, but Jaber's on the rampage. Now they're getting even more double kill, looking for another triple kill. They've cleaned up this fight. Saw took out Zayla just for a little bit of a laugh, but that is an ace, and they can walk down mid now here, Hallow.
Oh my god. I mean, that is the ticking time bomb of the game. They got to it. They made it. They did it. And even with the mistake of Kenvo, or I should say the outplay of Aqua, sidestepping that dredge line so perfectly, it did not matter. It didn't make a difference. The Pantheon was there to do what he does best and get in that backline. Stunning, but Jaber was there putting in so much damage. That Severe does damage like crazy, and we saw it here.
And now they've broken the base from what was their last tier 1 standing is now a Nexus down. That turn is huge. And now look at the gold. It was a almost 7k gold lead. Kench Snowman, get off my screen, because it's 16 to 16 kills. It's a 2k, not even that, a 1.5k gold deficit between these two teams. This game has got incredibly even with the Baron up and ready to go.
Didn't I tell you, Pike, that these were going to be close games? Did I not tell you? And did we think that at 33 minutes in the game, it was going to be this close?
I never doubted for a second. It's Oceania, baby. We are all about the blood. We want fights. We want kills. We want disconnects. But that's a Chains of Corruption going to the side. So now they're going to be very careful. One good re-engage could spell disaster. But they decide to say no. Let's push out mid.
The flash still up on Aqua still allows for a term of outplay for Team Final Gen, and that is that's what's going to decide how this team fight plays out, honestly.
Yeah, Baron's already been started up too. Porin says, we can do this now, guys. But look at Stella. They've got the sweeper. They know they have not been spotted out. This is the flank play. This is all that they need. If they can get onto Aqua, it is game over. We're turning Aqua into steam because they will be gray screening for a little bit too long. But Zayla sitting comfortably on the side. One good hook as they get put into that. But no, they're looking to go re-engage. Shockwave is huge. It's a lot of damage. Sword picks it up, but now look at Aqua in the back line too. Try to hold on, get the damage off, but now Stella is blasting through. No chance in hell. The double kill is good. Toppy's trying to hold on. He flashes out for dear life. And here is the monkey getting it done. Endurin is trying to get back in. Gets the pick. Toppy's knocking it down. But no, look at Porin, the tanky man himself. Can they hold it? Toppy's still alive. A double kill for Toppy. And Final Gen clean up with an ace.
The Undertaker is unkillable. And the flank, that beautiful flank from Stella, still wasn't enough, taking out Aqua even through the flash. But you can just see how tanky, how much survivability that the top side of Final Gen have, making it so difficult to get through. And look at that CC chain as well.
And that, just think, this is still the fight where Akali, Stella took out the majority of their damage in this fight. It is really only Saw and Toppy with a big chunk of damage, maybe a bit of Wukong. But look at Ajurin just sitting there saying, guys, I'll fight this out with you. Brothers in arms, let's get this done. And now they're looking at a Baron, and it's just cinema.
It really is. I mean, by all accounts, for Next Gen 2026, that fight should have gone well. It really should have. They had J-Bar there, but just the combination of the different moves made by Toppy there, using the wall to actually zone off the majority of the team, and then allowing for the CC knock-up, made for a crazy thing as we get a bit of an Elder congestion here.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. They're going to look for this fight. Elder with a Baron in tow is usually the nail in the coffin. Now they're going for a bit more of an engage, but Saw could be caught out. Skyfall comes down. They're looking on the back line. Look, it's not going to be enough. Even Aqua, the shockwave, hits so many. They get taken out, but the Elder has been secured. Now the fight comes down to a little bit more of a cleanup. Porin is absolutely blasting, and they still secure so much. The Soul, the little lightning strikes was getting it done, and 4 members strong are going to walk down this mid lane here, hello, and they might just end it. It is only Styled. It is the man who's known for coaching. Haven't seen him play in a while. He is the last line of defense. And if we know anything about cows in this country alone, hello, is they go to the slaughterhouse. Oh, okay, they slaughtered others apparently.
He's not going down without a fight.
Style takes one, but that is going to be game. Heading over to Next Gen 2025, saying Final Gen, you've just met your match.
Cheeseburger dinners. I mean, what a game. What a game. What a game. That was absolutely absurd. It was so hard for Aqua to play. It was so hard for him to play. The perfect Skyfalls from that Pantheon. And when your team relies so heavily on the Varus damage, what do you do? What can you do?
Usually I would say probably in Champion Select you take Cleanse. Is usually a good answer to that. Like,
good suggestion.
But look, Ghost is good too. I'm not going to... These guys are the experts. They're better players than I am, but Cleanse seems pretty good when you got an Akali also coming on you. You got a bloody Nautilus who's going to hook you left, right, and center with a depth charge. Like, I don't know. Cleanse feels pretty good to me, but I'm not the one playing. I'm just casting.
We saw that Hextech Soul be so useful in all of those final fights. The slow it applied was insane. Just the disruption effects, enforcing that these team fights fell in the favor of those who collected those 4 Drakes. I mean, weren't these team fights so close though at all times, with only a couple members surviving besides that final fight?
Oh, I didn't expect them to actually be that close. I didn't expect Yorick or Toppy to be so prevalent in these team fights. I was hoping they'd go for something with like a hard split push and say, look, we know this Pantheon has to come and ulti down into these team fights and have to be really aggressive in how they're joining these fights, which just left Toppy to take everything. We saw that in probably 1 or maybe 2 really good instances, and that's just where it didn't feel. But let's have a look at some of these team fights as well, Hello, because some of these were actual magic, and that Cyclone was beautiful. But this is where we saw Next Gen really start to pop off, and then it sort of went downhill from there.
Putting out every auto is landing. Every auto is landing.
It's just it's almost too easy. Like the kiting's too good. Like you see, they went for Stella there. There's the Skyfall too. Zayla's like, I want to join this, but the triple really should have set up J-Bar. But now all these other fights afterwards just were a little bit disastrous. Stealing the Artican here as well might have been the nail in the coffin for some teams, but Final Gen weren't able to hold on. They got a couple of nice kills. The flash forward, kind of worth, but at the end of the day, it's team fights like these that you got to be really careful of, and I worry for it sometimes.
Yeah, honestly, and that's the thing, you really said, the nail in the coffin of stealing a red raw Atacon, just ready to take it. The fact that it still didn't go in the way of Final Gen, that late game team fight of Next Gen 2026 was just too strong. There's just too many stats, too much to go through, too much gold to sit through. And with just the amount of mobility they have, I honestly think that Pantheon Skyfall was so crucial in just countless of these little team fights, just getting into the backline and causing so much confusion for Final Gen. It just spelt their end, certainly.
And I feel like this was the semi-throw that we saw initially, is where Wukong died and it was a bit of a rough fight. This one as well, like it's so choppy. Like this is a very chaotic team fight where one person goes down, another person on the other team, like it's 1-for-1, it's 1-for-2, win for win, and it just doesn't really feel like it's getting all that much done. But at the end, next gen, we're coming out on top. You have, like I said, the ticking time bomb was done. Civil was basically full build. She can just blast away. Stella's in the backline, just doing these awesome flanks. Like, it makes sense.
Absolutely. I just think I want to ask, and this is a very important question as we get the poll up in chat. Big shout out. Thank you to Riot for supplying codes. If you'd like to vote currently for the MVP of that matchup, a code will be sent to them for the winning player. But who do you think, Pike, was the MVP for this game?
Ooh. That's a tough question.
Isn't it just? So many good players. How do you pick?
I honestly, I'm probably just going to give it to Jaber just for trying to play as consistently as possible. Like, they only really, even then, 7-2 in that final scoreline. Like, they sort of did their job. They were just like throwing out bloody boomerangs the whole time. I think they all played very consistently. I probably wouldn't say any of them really deserved like a top tier. No one really stood out to me. But I think Jaber was probably like my go-to. I'd be like, yep, they did what an 80 carry needed to do. So I'm going to give it to them.
They never got a little bit too, they never misstepped, really. They did what they were supposed to do.
Yes.
And honestly, I agree completely. As we saw, what a wonderful game. As we're going to head to a short break before we get into the next one. But stay tuned. We're going to have good games tonight.